Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Matt Latter and today we're going to continue our Pillars of Eternity Let's Play series. So, in the last episode we've managed to explore two districts, the First Fires and Brackenbury. Now we're in Ondra's Gift and we're gonna have to do some exploring here as well. Most notably, we are trying to find Vienna. And she is in some abandoned house. So, let's look around these houses. I guess there'll be a bit of combat. There's addicts here. Doesn't tiny something squirm within the pot of rice? Yuck. At the first moment those guys looked enormously huge in size. But apparently the game just zoomed in. Dan. Wanted to hear that. The moment I heard him, I had already clicked. Not stealing. So, who's that guy? Olfak. That's quick save. Young elven man squints at you in surprise. You can't just barge into somebody's home like this. Who do you think you are? Well, who are you? An elf who lives here. Now get out. What now? Okay, bye. I think he'll become relevant later, perhaps. Being named and all. Anything else up here? Nothing much of importance. Let's see if this is it. Loot. Camping supplies. No need.
My eyes are peeled.
This is Potion of Eldritch Aim. Let's give it to the wizard. Yep, something's going on in here. Dordwina. As you enter the room, you see several figures huddled together. They stand at attention, armed, but not in much gear like the Crucible Knights. At the center of the group, one woman looms over another, holding a flail. She snarls at the cowering figure. You've got pages of research here. You expect me to believe this was just your scratch work? It's nothing, I promise. Just my notes. You hear a painful smack as the woman backhands her captive. We know you were a meeting with the Crucible Knights. You think they're the only ones with power in the city? They call us the dozens for a reason. Now, I won't ask you again. At a nudge from one of her men, the woman turns and sees you watching. Her eyes narrow. You shouldn't be here. Leave her alone. She raises a flail and rushes at you. Oh, well. Sure thing, go ahead. Wait. Let's book slim some motherfuckers. Okay, so let's organize this here. Go here, right. Fighting in the doors wasn't the best idea. At least for clarity purposes. You have the lesser burst of summer flame, remember. Okay, you guys remain afar. Oh, I didn't give her a proper weapon. Well, that's bad. Damn, and now I can do it in combat. Fuck. Well, that's a mistake. Let's go in slow mode for a moment here. Though it seems that we've got this well under control here. Very much so.
Let's.
Yeah, this isn't much of a fight. Priestman. Go do some interdiction, please. Ah, that dirty law. Go there. Also attack Ondra or whatever her name is. Let's mark her as well.
Lava.
This should be over momentarily. There we go.
Yeah.
All finished. Biana's face is covered in bruises and her eyes are wide with shock and relief. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Rapid, hitching breaths punctuate her words. I was sure they were going to kill me. She wipes a tear from her cheek, wincing as her knuckles graze her bruise. What's just happened here? I thought I was coming here to meet my, friend from the Republics. It looks like I walked into a trap. She shakes her head. The dozens must have been watching me for a while. I've been working on a special project for the Crucible Knights, and they weren't exactly subtle about contacting me. So about this project. It deals with a rather rare bunch of animancy. No offense, but I probably shouldn't get too specific without Commander Cliver's permission. He commissioned it, after all. She laughs nervously, and you can see the trouble the little indiscretion has gotten me into. Tell me about yourself, then. I studied animancy in Osea, back in the Valian Republics. I came to Defiance Bay to research local advances, but instead of going to Brackenbury Sanitarium, I found a position as a scrivener at the Temple of Whale. I've had access to many rare manuscripts that most animancers never see, she shrugs. Of course, I've had to keep my head down. I've been careful not to let the head librarian, or my colleagues, know that I'm working on. Well, let's get out of here. She gnaws on a split lip. Commander Clivers of the Crucible Knights is waiting on my research. Not that you haven't already done a lot for me, but maybe you could take it to him? I'd keep it with me to prevent it from falling to the wrong hands, but you can see how well that worked out. She nods at Dodwina's corpse. She took it from me when I arrived. She takes a deep breath. Anyhow, don't wait on me. I can make my own way out of here. Well,
What?
Sounds fine. Let's loot. Ooh, Erubekra. Let's give that to someone so we can look at it closer. We have the research. And a fine flail, which won't be necessary. This guy here only had normal stuff as well.
Quickly and quietly.
Anything hidden in here? Doesn't quite seem like it. Ooh, hammer and chisel. The rope coiled around the chair feels painfully scratchy. The water in the pail is murky with blood. Yeah, not nice, guys. So, that part is done. Let's continue to explore this district, and then we shall return to the Crucible Knights. I'm not exactly a fan of their idea to basically get automated golems out there as patrolmen, but I may get a word in there. We'll have to see. Bunch of thugs and a named guy. Reagan. Shove off. We've nothing to talk about. Okay, man. And most important, all RPGs invade every single home. Never know what you find. So we also need to go to the salty mast in here. Clear out that thing for, well, basically the crook. More refugees down here.
God's damn that son of a cool.
The angry woman clenches her jaw and stares out towards the harbor with glimmering gold eyes. Eventually sensing your presence, she turns her feathered head towards you.
Want to run it down on its luck, Valiant Trading Company? If you have more than half a brain, you could really do something with it.
She clenches her jaw and continues quietly.
As long as you're willing to clean up a few bloodstains.
Okay. Do you need help with something? The woman stares at you for a long moment before a nictitating membrane slide across her eyes.
You want to help? Sure. Go into that warehouse and ask for a man named Verzano. When you find him, throw him in a sack, throw the sack in a crate, and put the crate on a boat headed to Ancenze.
Okay.
Or the bottom of the Pearlwood Gulf. Either's fine with me.
The woman looks back at the warehouse for a moment and grimaces. After a slight nod in your direction, she storms off. Okay. And this was Valiant Trading Company. Cartugo. Maybe he knows what's going on. That's quick save.
Well met, friend.
Come take a look at my wares. Exotic goods shipped straight from the republics of Old Valia. Okay, he's just a merchant. But he's a merchant with interesting gear. Okay, some spells per rest. That's actually not bad. I mean, touch is not nice. Spreading plague is, though. Well, that's certainly a lot of money. Belt of Stelgar. Knockdown duration decreased and dexterity. The Ring of Wonder. Constitution might resolve and a second chance. Ooh, there's some good magic items here. The Amulet of Shokote. The Cloak of the Tireless Defender. Okay, it modifies constant recovery, but how? I guess it just increases the self-heal amount. Mind marker used by a cipher. And a druid's belt. Eh. A beagle dog and a calico cat. Oh, holy shit, I'm gonna need a proper living cat. That's like the most important thing ever. There we go. Now we have a cat. Like a real living cat that's not undead. That's kind of important. I should remember to put the magical items to proper use more often. If they're not the best suited all the time. Did I really not equip the Justice Sword as of yet? Because if so, I'm gonna have to slam my fucking head on the desk, I believe. Using a stock at the moment. That's also not what it's supposed to use. Okay, let's compare these. Yeah, okay, I'm apparently massively freaking stupid. How long has that been going on? Holy hell, sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh well. So, let's do what we're told and go in here. Maybe not necessarily murder everyone, but, you know, take a look. See what's going on. Liena.
Hail and well met.
A young woman stands behind the counter, watching you with quick, intelligent eyes. Welcome. This is your first visit to the Valiant Trading Company, is it not? Please let me know how I can assist you. What's this place? The Valiant Trading Company is an association of merchants from the Valiant Republics. We oversee trade deals and negotiations on behalf of our merchants. She gestures towards the door on her right. This is a warehouse, where we store goods in transit. You have more business to discuss? Who are you? I'm the assistant manager of this warehouse. Currently I help Versano run things, but I'll take over when he retires. Or when the company bosses back home decide it's time for new management. She rolls her eyes. Well, that certainly doesn't sound like she's happy about how things are at the moment. Let's get everyone into a combat-capable position, so to speak. There we go.
Hey.
And have Adair talk to him. A man stands in the corner of the warehouse, directing traffic. Gems swing from the many rings on his fingers as he points and waves at the laborers. His silk clothes, though finely embroidered, aren't new. You notice a couple mended seams around the shoulders and a discreet patch on one elbow.
Greetings.
When he sees you, the man throws his arms wide in expansive welcome. Greetings! You have come to the warehouse and headquarters of the Valiant Trading Company. He consults a pocket watch. Some of the gold filigree has chipped away. But you're late. I sent word to the expedition hall yesterday. This delivery cannot wait. He snaps the watch shut. What's the delivery? He tugs at his beard. I must assume, then, that you're not from the company I contacted at the expedition hall. He waves a hand. But you are here, and they are not. It is a bag of bitter squash seeds, which are prized for their medical properties. Few merchants in Defiance Bay deal in them, but those who do know their value. Seems simple enough. Why ask me? We're honest enough. A frown distorts his meticulous goatee. My own couriers have been robbed and beaten these past weeks. It would seem that some of my competitors resent my success. In any case, you're not a known associate. You'd be left alone, and if not, he shrugs and grins, you look like you could handle yourself. Besides, all of Defiance Bay knows of your integrity, and you will have to trust my assurances that you won't find a buyer outside of my contract. Okay. He claps his hand together. Excellent! Now deliver this package to a man named Gareth at the Goose and Fox in Copper Lane. He will know what to do with it. He slips a bag of pebbly seeds into your hand. Return to me when you're done, and I shall see to your payment.
Gods keep you.
Ranso checks his battered pocket watch. Better delivered package, no? Business such as this is best concluded quickly. Okay, but what about the feathered woman? Ah, you must mean Pelgina. She's a paladin in the employ of the Valian embassy. He chuckles. She's a good soldier, but not so good at taking orders. Too odd a temper, I'm afraid. Yeah, she seemed angry. He laughs again. That is no surprise. She's hot-headed. A woman in a brotherhood of paladins and touched by the gods in such an unusual way. Something else can help you with? Or shall I return to my business? So what do you do here exactly? I am a merchant from Angenza, the fairest of the Valian republics. Here in Defiance Bay, I run the Valian Trading Company. He gestures at a stack of crates. We ship cargo to and from the republics. We are part of the grandest mercantile organization in the world. Anything you can imagine, we can ship it. He grins. For a fee. I'd like to know more. We are a confederation of merchants and traders from the republics. He looks proudly around the warehouse. We sell all manner of goods and equipment, and for years we've enjoyed fruitful contracts with many shops, inns, and armorers throughout Defiance Bay. His smile flickers. Something's wrong? It is nothing, he waves a hand. Only that competition has grown especially fierce in recent months. But I suppose this is to be expected given the legacy, and as the locals call it. Well, okay.
Yeah.
At least we didn't have to murder anyone here. I take a quick drink. There we go.
Sure.
So down here, this guy.
Good day, stranger.
An old man paces the docks and looks out over the water. He's fussing over something large and round, which he constantly shifts from one hand to the other. You're not certain whether his wide-eyed gape-mouthed expression marks surprise or fear. It seems he isn't either. You, don't look like a god. He examines you and your equipment more closely. Say, you wouldn't be interested in making some coppers, would you? He shows you the object in his hand. It's a large round opal with Engwithan runes carved into it. It glistens with his sweat. See the ship that went down over there? I've been looking for someone to help me recover some missing cargo. Tell me about the cargo then. He licks his lips. We started in cold morn and we're making our way down the river, loading and unloading as we went. Business as usual. So what exactly happened? He massages the opal in a clammy palm. When we reached Einar's Rest, we may have agreed to take on a few crates for some place called Klibenrilak. A couple of the lads snuck a peek at the cargo, saw suits of armor and a broken scepter. He shrugs. Don't know why anyone would want a broken anything, but these animals will be dirty stockings. Will buy dirty stockings if you say they came from the ruins. He closes his hands around the opal in a white-knuckled grip. We were almost to Defiance Bay when the screaming started. I've seen my share of barroom brawls, but this sounded different. I was topside with the captain, but he and the first mate went below decks to see what all the commotion was about. When they didn't come back, I looked into the hold. He shudders. I saw one of the suits of armors walking around all by itself. It was covered in blood. When it saw me, it started running for the hatch, so I closed it. He squeezes his eyes shut. Yeah, how could you lock your crewmates in the hold with those creatures? Imatal covers his face with his hands. What choice did I have? I couldn't fight them by myself. He rolls the stone between his hands. I'm just a deckhand, but I was the only one left. I piloted the ship as best I could, but I hit rocks and we were passing Brackenbury. I barely made it to Ondra's Gift before I had to jump overboard and swim for the docks. I'd given up on the cargo, not to mention the payday, when one of the lads pulled this up in his nets. He shows the opal again. It's part of that scepter. From what I recall, there were 3 other pieces, and I'd bet for you anything there's somewhere in the shallows too. If anyone can find them, that'd be profit to follow. We have high survival. Those creatures you described sound like animats. They were probably guarding the relic. Whatever they were, they cut down the rest of the crew like straw dummies. I doubt a little salt water would have rusted them away. Have you talked to the Crucible Knights? And admit that I was smuggling relics? He shakes his head. I doubt they'd arrest me, but I also doubt I'd see any coin from this mess. So, any reason why you didn't go looking for yourself? I'm lucky to have escaped the ship like I did. Like I'm not taking chances with these things. Okay, so what happens if I find the rest? Find the missing pieces of the artifact, and I've got an animancer friend from my expedition days who'll find you a stack of coppers. He scratches his beard. All I want out of this is a few £100 for my lost payday. If that sounds fair to you, I'll give you the stone and the name of my contact once you have everything else. Immortal regards the opal again. Seeing as the kid dredged the stone up in this net, I'd wager you could probably find the missing pieces out in the shallows during low tide. Okay. Sounds like another quest. Actually, only a task. There's Naya.
Gods keep you.
As you approach, she eagerly turns to you. You interested in doing some construction work? Her clothes are simple, but nicer than most you've seen in Ondra's Gift. Pays good money. I take it you're having trouble finding workers? Workers who aren't superstitious cowards, anyway. She shakes her head. I have a good coin, but as soon as I tell them about the job, they say an oath to Lady of Lament and spit over the docks. They all think the lighthouse is haunted, ever since the floods of Ondra's Gift. Echoes of the war. The flood certainly claimed enough souls to pack a lighthouse full to bursting. Place was flooded? Back at the end of the War of the Defiance. It was one of the finishing blows to the Ediran military. Cost us a lot, though. The whole district was supposed to be evacuated, but not everyone left in time. The Edirans put anyone they found to the sword. The lucky ones who escaped the slaughter drowned hours later when the Hardrat's forces broke the dams. Locals say the lighthouse keeper was one of the people who stayed behind, and one of the last to die. I don't know why that makes the lighthouse any more haunted than the rest of the gift, but there you have it. Well, that won't stop me. Good, about time someone put an end to this foolishness. She rummages in her pocket and pulls out a skeleton key. As she hands it to you, she hesitates. Just be careful. Not that I believe the ghost stories, but it's an old building, so watch your step. I have questions. Do you know what might be inside the lighthouse? If only. It's been uninhabited since they flooded Ondra's Gift. What are you building? An inn, allegedly. She brushes a single loose strand of her bun behind her ear. The gift needs a spot with a little more class than the salty must. The district has been in the dumps since the War of Defiance. It seemed ready for some fresh development, so imagine my excitement when I find this place. 3 floors tall and right on the water. For sale at a reasonable price. The seller suggested that there were other interested buyers, so I closed the deal before I'd taken time to really look into it. Stupid. She shakes her head. Being from New Homa, I knew about the floods, but I didn't know about the superstitions surrounding the lighthouse, and the seller was long gone by the time I found out. At this point, it'll be a miracle from the Lady of Lament herself if I make my investment back. Well, another quest. There's really a lot to do here.
That woman expects people to sleep in a place like this?
Well, it certainly sounds haunted. Oh well, I'm gonna call this episode here. We're gonna continue our exploration of the district and the lighthouse the next time. I thank you all for watching. I hope you've had some fun. If you did, consider commenting, liking, subscribing as usual. Also follow me on Twitter at _madletter for all the news updates. And with that, I hope to see you the next time. Bye bye.